What's going on, people? This is the article I was telling you guys about that's titled, "The Los Angeles Crips Just Put Out a Hit on Kanye West." Why are they putting a hit on Kanye West? Simply because Kanye West had a totally different view of opinion, and because of the fact that he support Donald Trump. Now, before I read the article, I will say that I'm going to keep an eye on this story, because usually when you have people that allegedly put hits out on people and they tell street gangs to F them up, later on down the line, extortion is going to come. Extortion might play a big part in this, because later on they'll say, if you want to free yourself, if you want us to stop or take the hit off of you, you now have to pay a certain amount of money to us, and we'll leave you alone. It's a hood type of bullying. You remember in school, like where you have a bully that would take your money or take your lunch or take your cookie in school, things like that. Well, this is what might happen later on down the line. So, but the article reads as follows. And see, this is the dude that did it. That dude right there. But the article reads as follows. Kanye West has been posting hateful messages on social media. Now, I don't ever recall seeing a hateful message being posted by Kanye West. This is the same thing they do with Donald Trump. They're saying that he's hateful and he's posting hateful comments on Twitter and things like that. And it's not true at all. It's just something that they don't agree with because of the fact that, you know, you're not a part of that gang stalking where you play the victim mentality. Okay. So Kanye West has been posting hateful, and they have it in bold print, messages on social media where they publicly support radical racists, including Donald Trump. See, I told you guys, this is not so much as what he said about slavery. It's Donald Trump. See, they're gang stalking Donald Trump. And anyone that supports Donald Trump or that's around Donald Trump, they have to turn that person, they bully that person to the point where that person will back away from Trump. Won't have anything to do with Trump. They want Trump out there by himself. Okay. Now, the streets have put a hit on Kanye West for his actions. This is the dude right here. Popular Crip Daz Dillinger sent out the message yesterday posting, "All the Crips out there, y'all F Kanye up. You see that mother effer, F his ass up on G." Now, this dude should go to prison, because these are like terrorist threats right here. You know, this dude is actually making a terrorist threat against Kanye West, man. They have right here, y'all F him up. So if anything happened to Kanye West, not only the persons that did it, but this dude right here, you know, being the head terrorist, should do some jail time, some prison time for this, okay? Daz, a popular 1990s rap artist, continued. Now, this dude, he was a rap artist in 1990, and this could be a way where he can try to, you know, promote himself again, you know, because you got people that will put mess out like this to promote themselves because they're obsolete. Nobody's thinking about them no more. So they want to get their name circulating now in the media. Okay. So this could be a thing like where he's just trying to, you know, become relevant again. Okay. Better not ever see you in concert. Better not ever see you round the LBC, Long Beach. Better not ever see you around California. These are threats. Daz confirmed that the Crips have a hit out on Kanye tweeting, "Stay in Calabasas." You hear me? Because we got a Crip alert for Kanye. All the Crips out there, you see him, bang on his ass. F his ass up. Now, it's funny to me that they're putting this hit out on Kanye, and they're taking this, they're taking this way too far, right? Because I've never seen a hit put out on the police that kill unarmed blacks, but instead they march. They get on social media, they rant on Twitter and talk about how they're treated unjustly. But never have I ever seen them put a hit out on police that wrongfully take out another black male. And George Zimmerman is still walking the earth. I've never seen them put out a hit on George Zimmerman. Why is that? But yet, Kanye had an opinion, and because he support Donald Trump, now you putting it out there because we got a Crip alert for Kanye. All the Crips out there, you see him, bang on his ass, F his A up. Terrorist, right? Now, I want to say something before I read the rest of this article. What a lot of you so-called blacks don't realize, and like I mentioned in my video, Kanye is correct. Did you not know that after slavery, and when blacks were allegedly free, did you not know that the white man or the whites feared the black community? Why did they fear the black community? Because they thought the black community was going to unite against whites for what was done to our ancestors. So they expected blacks to unite. They expected for blacks to rebel. They expected for blacks to do some damage because of what happened in history past. But instead, blacks did nothing. They're docile. They may get riled up. They may protest peacefully. They may destroy a couple of cop cars, destroy the communities they live in, knock out a couple of store windows. They've seen them on cameras looting and stealing, and then they fall back to sleep. See, so after a while of studying the black community, the white man says, when I say white man, I'm speaking about those that's in authority, those that's in government, those that's sitting back, watching, expecting things to happen. So after a while of sitting back watching the actions of the black community when certain things happen, the system, the white man says, oh, we ain't got to worry about that. They'll probably lean back. We ain't got to worry about that. We safe. We good. We good. They just gonna let them make a little noise. We'll block off the streets. We'll put a couple of cops out there, just to kind of watch them. But we ain't got to worry about them because we ain't got, we safe. We safe, right? It's not so much as you safe, because they already know that blacks are going to destroy each other. They already know that blacks is divided among themselves. So it's like, well, we did a good job. Willie Lynch is in effect. Whether or not Willie Lynch was true or not, Willie Lynch is in effect. We ain't got to worry about it. Don't worry about it. Just let them blow off some hot steam, and then it's going to go back to normal. We ain't got to worry about nothing. We ain't got to worry about it. So blacks have been rocked to sleep. This is an example. See, black people talk about MK Ultra, mind control. But black Americans don't realize that a great number of black Americans are under mind control. Your mind is controlled. Because now you're fighting, you have actually taken on the task of white supremacy. See, you're now white supremacists don't have to do anything now because blacks are doing it for them. Blacks hate blacks. Blacks call blacks racial names, and the system won't say nothing because it's like, oh, that they're using that as a term of endearment, so they call each other niggas. So it's all right if you just don't do that, because let them do what they do. Their self-destruction. That's self-destruction in effect. They're destroying themselves, so let them destroy themselves. So at one time, whites feared that blacks were going to retaliate. I'm talking about really retaliate. I believe it's 40 million black people in America. Do you know how much damage 40 million blacks could do if they were united? Even when it comes to this financial system. If blacks stop supporting this financial system, do you know how much damage black people can do in this country? But instead, we're divided. We don't know who's friend or who's foe. We don't know. We don't know. Now, Kanye West, let me finish reading the article. Daz went on to mention the city where Kanye lives, saying, "Stay in Calabasas, you hear me, because we got a Crip alert for Kanye. All the Crips out there, you see him, bang on his ass, F his A up." Daz Dillinger, real name is Delmar Du Arnaud. Continue, "It's like we all in one boat and they killing all of us, and he jumped over there and say, 'Master, I'm on your side, Master. I got all the information. I'm with you, Master Trump.'" Now, they forgot about Hillary Clinton. They're ignoring all of the crimes that Hillary Clinton have done, Bill Clinton have done. And when Hillary was running, did you not know that blacks defended her? They was like, well, that was back then. That's way in the past. You bringing up the past, right? But with Donald Trump, they have no evidence of him being a racist. They have no evidence of him supporting a Nazi. Now, it's just funny to me how blacks are so quick to destroy each other. But yet, when the so-called white man or enemy do something to them, they become quiet and docile. And they defend the white man. I've had blacks say to me, what do you want? Well, what should we do? They got guns. Well, you guys got guns too, because you're killing each other. Think of the number of deaths that happened in this country at the hands of another black person. I can post about 10 articles. I can put 10 articles on the bottom where black on black violence and death occurred just within the last couple of days. Just within the last day or so. Blacks dying at the hands of blacks. But now you got somebody posting a so-called Crip alert on Kanye because of his views and opinions. Isn't that sad? TMZ claiming that Kanye now hired bodyguards to protect him from the Crips. You see the above pic. Snoop Dogg, who is a famous Crip, issued a message to Kanye last week after Kanye began tweeting nonsense. Why is that nonsense? Because you don't understand it, you call it nonsense, and now you put a hit out on him? An alleged hit out on him? Black people. This is a prime example of black on black hate. See, they put an alert out on Kanye, and you know what? It's almost like black people look for an excuse to hate black people. Black people look for an excuse to threaten and do harm to black people. There's another article I just read about Kevin Hart, about his so-called best friend tried to extort money out of him. But I think that's what's going to happen in this case. What's going to happen in this case is they're going to end up trying to extort money out of Kanye West. If you want us to call off the alert, then you got to pay us so much money because you've done damage to us. But not one time did they ever revolt. And the white man was expecting blacks to unite and revolt because of slavery. That's historical. You remember Shaka Zulu? And when Shaka Zulu was going to kill that little boy that was supposed to have taken some type of leadership or kingship later on, and I think the mother saved the child. Either she saved the child or she hid the child or something. But Shaka Zulu was going to kill the child because he knew that when that child grew up, the child was going to come after him. See, it's just like dudes are seeing these single parent moms and you start abusing these women, and these women got little boys. Those little boys won't forget, and they grow up. They may come back after you because they've watched you do harm to their moms. See, so that's just the way it is. That's the way it was. You know, even in Asian culture, you know, you ever watch these old Asian movies where there's a little child, okay, that grows up and then they take the father's position of kingship, and then he gets revenge on the enemies of his father, right? Well, that's what white men expected of black Americans. They expected blacks to unite, and they actually feared blacks. So now that they've sat back, watched, and studied blacks, they have no fear, because black Americans are so asleep and so far gone and turning on themselves to the point where the white man says, okay, now you go up in the restaurant, we can talk to you any way we want to talk to you. We ain't got nothing to worry about because we don't fear you anymore. The white man don't fear you anymore because he know you're not going to do nothing. You're quick to take out each other. You're quick to put hits out on each other. But yet, the history past, you'll talk about that, you moan about it, you talk black this and black that, white this and white this, and we're oppressed and slavery and slavery and slavery, but you're asleep. You haven't done anything. You haven't risen up to try to take some type of revenge for your ancestors. You know, so you're not doing anything to try to better yourselves or that your children will have a better future. I've never seen a generation where there's so much death, man. My sons, I felt bad for my sons, man, because when I went to school, man, I don't ever recall losing a lot of classmates, man. I really don't. I remember there's one guy that died. His name was Jackie White. I knew his whole family. His mom used to braid my hair. But I remember Jackie when he died. I had to be about maybe 11, 12 years old when Jackie died. He was older, and Jackie died because he was drowned. He drowned. You know, it was out on camp somewhere, and I guess he went out to save somebody or whatever, get somebody out of the water, and got caught up in a whirlpool, and you know, it pulled him under. He ended up drowning. But that was really the only death growing up that we knew about. You know, of course there was a gang violence out there, but not too many people died from gunshots. But my sons, it's like being a parent, and see, that's why it's important and this is off the topic, but that's why it's so important for the fathers to be in the home. You know what I mean? Because and the father himself have to have a clear head, man. He can't be no drug dealer. He can't be no criminal. You know, he's got to be on the up and up himself, you know. But that's why it's important for the father to be in the household, man, to be that role model, to talk to your sons, man, when they actually have to deal with this day to day. When they go to school and they got friends, you know, And I had to watch my friends and I mean my sons, and they're like, at one point they got discouraged. They got discouraged, man, and I seen fear creep up in them, man, because they like, wow, I just saw my friend, he's died. I went to school with him. I grew up with him. I was just talking to him on Facebook, or I just seen him and he's dead now. Got caught up in black on black violence and crime, and nobody is speaking out against that. It's become accepted in the black community, black on black murder. And my sons have lost so many friends to death at the hands of other blacks, not the white man, not the police, but each other. And nobody talk about that because it has become the norm in the black community. So I had to become like counselor. I had to be counselor to my sons. I not only had to be a dad, but I also had to be a counselor. I had to take off my dad hat and put on my counselor hat. I had to listen. And at the same time I listened to them and consoled them, I had to teach them so that they don't make that same mistake or fall into that same trap. And I always tell them to keep busy, man. Keep busy doing something productive, man. Either school, working, if you like boxing, basketball, whatever, pay more, do your hobby, whatever you like doing, you do that. Hang around people that's like yourself. Move below, just stay below the line. Just stay on the low, man. Stay on the down low. I ain't talking about gay, right? But just fly or move below the radar, man. Stay under the radar. Stay under the radar, So, but it was just something raising them and having to teach them and guide them and counsel them because they see their friends dying. These are their friends. We as adults may have our opinion of these young people, but that's their friends, man. These are people that they know, they go to school with, they socialize with, this one boy, and I'm gonna end the video. There's this one boy that were at odds with my son at one time. And he was at odds with my son. He didn't like my son because my son had what he didn't have. See, my son had his parents that raised him the best way we know how, properly. He had a stable home. This young man didn't have that. His father wasn't in the home. His mother did not like him. Even to this very day, his mother did not like him, do not like him. And so he basically raised himself, or the streets raised him. Because the moms were doing her own thing. The dad wasn't in the house. So he was at odds with my son. And he's a little older than my son, but he was always threatening my son. Whenever my son seen him, it was like some type of opposition there. So I got involved. And when I talked to the young man, I looked at him and I said, okay, all right, I see where this is. And I saw that there was a lot of good in that young man, because every young person out there is not bad. I know I'm off my topic, but they're not bad people, man. It's just environments that they brought up around. It's the adults. It's the parents' fault. So I saw some good in this young man. And I said, you know what? I said, yo, man, I said, instead of getting in his case, I said, yo, man, I said, we getting ready to go to the zoo. You want to go with us? Right? Eyes lit up. Yeah, well, I want to go. Right? And I'm going to lead to something. Yeah, I want to go. I said, okay, well, we have to get permission from your parents. I said, your moms don't, so my son's mom went around to where he lived at to try to talk to his moms, and she was saying that the way the house was like a mess. I mean, the mom was wearing these hoochie clothes, and she act like she really just didn't care about her son. And she told her, don't worry about money. We got it covered. We got him covered, so anything that, food, whatever, we got him covered on that. So we took him and his little brother to the zoo with us, right? And he had they had like the time of their life. To this day, the young man, and from that point on, he and my sons were good friends, right? And to this day, that young man gives me the utmost respect. He came in my store one day. It was about maybe a year or so ago, and he's like, "Do you remember me? You know who I am?" And I knew who he was. And I said, "Yeah." He said, "Yeah." He said, and he gave me his name. And sat there and talked to him, and he was telling me that he was looking, he was working at some place, or he was looking for a job or something he was doing, right? But long story short, I just read an article where the young man has been arrested for shooting and killing another person, another individual. And now it looks like he's going to spend the most or the rest of his life in prison because of the fact that he had no parents, Of course, there were two people that created him or gave birth to him. One person gave birth to him, but he had no parents. His dad wasn't there. His mom was doing her own thing, and she didn't like him. She didn't like him because of his lifestyle, but yet his lifestyle was there because he wasn't receiving the right type of guidance. He wasn't receiving right guidance. He wasn't receiving what a lot of black people now reject. Black people will call us racial names, for training our children to be successful in life or to do well in life, right? So because of that, this young man now has to spend the rest of his life in prison for murder charge and a weapons charge because he didn't have the right guidance in his life. And it's something because that same young man now that's being charged for murder was in my house when he was little. That same young man, he would come here and he would play like the video games with my sons. They would hang out with my sons and everything like that in the house, or if we went somewhere, we get permission to take them with us, and they had the opportunity to see another side of life. But because of the fact that they didn't have parents at home that will build off of that positivity, now he has to spend the rest of his life in prison, and of course there's people that's going to blame him. They're going to talk about how bad he is, but charity starts at home and spreads abroad. You know what I mean? So I don't know what got me on that story, but I guess it was meant to be said, man. But listen, parents, you need to be with your kids, man. You need to be home. And what Kanye West said is correct. But yet you have now black people that's putting a hit out on Kanye West because he's got a totally different view of opinion than you do. See? That's where we are today. That's where black people are today. Never had to experience slavery. Never even had to experience the civil rights movement. I did. I was coming up in a time when racism was alive and well. And I shared a story on my video in the past where I was in school and never forget this teacher's name, Miss Leo. She was tall. She looked manly too, man. She had a Wilma Flintstone type hairdo, right? And I never forget this woman walked up to me and going to demand me to hold her coffee. And I said no, right? I refuse. And it's because of how she asked me. And I refused. So she didn't say nothing. Well, there was a swimming pool in the school, right? I ain't know how to swim, I've never seen a pool before. So we had to bring our trunks, and all the kids ran and jumped in the pool and started swimming. I thought that's all you had to do. And I ran and jumped in the water. I started drowning. I would never forget what it's like to drown. I can still see it like it happened today. I never forget that feeling of drowning. Just going under, man, and all you hear is boom, 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 boom. You see nothing around you, and it's like you just struggling, man, and then all of a sudden you come back up, and then I seen them like taking all the other little kids out, and it's like I went back down. You can't breathe, man, nothing. I would never forget that feeling. And then finally they came in and got me. When they had me laid out on the platform there, the lifeguard, like, pumped the water out of me. When I came to, she walked over to me, standing over me, and she looked down at me and says, "That's what you get for not holding my coffee." And then she walked away. Right? So those are the times I grew up in, man. And, to hear blacks talk about, slavery and racism and discrimination, a lot of things that black Americans go through now is brought on by themselves, man. Blacks don't want to get up and do nothing. You don't want nothing in life. And you don't want nobody else to have anything in life. So I'm in the video. And listen, I'm going to put this article on the bottom. You guys can feedback and tell me what you think. But this is sad, man. And listen, don't forget to click on the donate button here and donate to this page. Or on the bottom of my YouTube channel, there's a PayPal button. You can click there and support the channel. But it's a sad day we're living in, man, because Kanye West should not have to hire bodyguards to protect himself from black people. If anybody that should support the man is black people. But instead, they put a hit out on the man because he's got a totally different view of opinion. So they say Donald Trump is a racist, but yet they're spewing out racism towards each other. Right? So feedback, tell me what you think. The article's on the bottom. Support the channel. Until next time, I'm fearless.